Today we're gonna make Cheddar Bay pigs in a blanket. So we're gonna take these hot dogs, cut them in half, and we're gonna wrap I have a keto recipe for Cheddar Bay Red Lobster biscuits, and we're gonna wrap that around the hot dogs. So maybe it will work, maybe it won't. We're gonna find out. First thing you need is almond flour. And if you're subbing almond flour for coconut flour in a recipe, just know coconut flour is much more dense, so you only use about 1/4 the amount. For example, if this calls for 2 cups of almond flour, you would actually only use 1/2 cup of coconut flour. So you got the almond flour, melted butter, shredded cheddar. Anna ate the avocado fries, Andrea. Whisked egg. Hiya from Ohio. Hey, shout out to Ohio. That is where I'm from. Whisked egg, garlic powder. And guys, I didn't have heavy cream, so we're gonna try using coconut cream. I found this in my cabinet from like years ago. I don't even know if it's still good. But the reason I had it is because, believe it or not, I used to love the taste of coconut cream. I would put it in my coffee. I think it tastes good. I think it tastes better than heavy cream. All right, so, and then you need some baking powder. Now we just mix everything up. Swag like Ohio. Shout out to Little B. I love it. I feel like Mr. Rogers is cooking for me. Hey, thank you, Peak. All right, so we're just mixing it up. And this recipe is so easy. Like I said, you can get this in Carefree Keto. And I'm also gonna put the recipe in the caption. I don't know, guys. Today I was just having one of those days where I was so tired. I woke up earlier than usual. Not much earlier though, like an hour before I usually wake up, and I just was ready to go. But now it's starting to hit me and I've just been tired. All right, so I'm gonna take a bite of this. It's so good. Thank you, Susan. I'm so glad you love the recipes. We're only testing it with 4 of these. So I'm not gonna make a bunch because, like I said, I've never made this before. We're gonna find out if it works. So you cut your wiener in half. And I don't even know what the best way to wrap this is gonna be, because it isn't like a, what's it called? Like a, I don't know, like when you make pigs in a blanket, you know, you're using crescent roll. Yeah, we're making raw hot dogs. Shout out to Stronger with Steven. That's funny, I was actually telling Anna, one of these days, if you guys are watching this, you'll be in on the joke. So one of these days, I'm going to do a live and I'm gonna pretend I'm making like a gourmet recipe, okay? But don't give it away if you're watching. And I'm gonna be like, all right. So I'll start the live and I'll be like, all right guys, you're always asking me if I'm gonna bake a cake or do some sort of like big recipe. And here it is. This is a recipe I've been wanting to try for years, but I've just been too intimidated. And I'm just gonna like chop up some hot dogs into little bite-sized pieces and throw them into the microwave and then just start eating them. All right, so we've wrapped the Cheddar Bay dough around the hot dogs. I think this is gonna work. I don't see why it wouldn't. It tastes really good. I wonder if you could also do this with like you could stuff them with lobster, or not lobster, what is it, like imitation crab? Or if you can get lump crab meat, I think that would also be good. Yeah, like mini corn dogs. Guys, shout out to mini corn dogs and corn dogs. If I go to a fair, all my keto aspirations go out the window because I am just a sucker for corn dogs. Corn dogs are my favorite. But mini corn dogs are like a corn dog but with more breading. Those were my favorite growing up. Like if I was having a sleepover at the friend who always had mini corn dogs' house, that was like, I would get so excited. Oh yeah, king crab, that would be delicious. All right, so we've gotten this last one covered. Now we are going to, I guess just, I've never had a corn dog from A&W. All right, but speaking of A&W, those are always connected to Long John Silver's. And when I first started keto, before I like actually counted my carbs and knew what I was doing, I was avoiding the obvious carbs, you know, like I didn't eat the fries, I didn't eat rice and dessert, which most importantly, that's where you get a lot of the benefits, but I still ate breaded things, and I used to love getting the chicken and fish from Long John Silver's. Oh my gosh. But now I know the carbs in those things add up. So you want to avoid like breaded foods. All right, guys, here we go into the air fryer. And we can make the butter parsley brush that we're gonna put on top. All right, I'm conflicted. I keep saying bake, air fry, bake, air fry. I've done the Cheddar Bay biscuits in the air fryer before. Let's actually cover our bases and do both. Because I have more breading. So let's like air fry one batch and throw a couple on bake. Because we have more hot dogs. All right. Yeah, I'm so excited to see how they turn out too, Pam. Corn dogs with mustard? I'm not about corn dogs with mustard. It's gotta be ketchup. It's good with mustard, but compared to ketchup, ketchup is my favorite. And I've actually been eating hot dogs on low-carb bread a lot lately. I do buy the turkey dogs, though. Usually, these are regular, but if you're trying to lose weight and you love eating, like, I don't know, just a ton of food, try and, like, not count your calories, but just be conscious of them where you can. And one thing I noticed is I could eat one turkey dog, I could eat like one hot dog or two turkey dogs for the same amount of calories, and they basically taste the same. It's just like processed whatever insides of an animal tastes like. So it's not like I'm trying to think of like where the lower fat versions taste terrible, you know? Because there are products where you get ground turkey instead of ground beef. Like, I like beef, you know? Or like a fatty cut of ribeye. You can't really replace that. So there's a time and a place to go with the lower calorie, lower fat version of stuff. And if you're eating like processed foods like hot dog, I think it is beneficial sometimes to just go with the turkey dogs instead. All right, we don't have enough breading to cover all of these, so we're just gonna do 2, and we're gonna put the 2 in the oven. I don't know, if you're baking 2 of something, does bake time change? Because to make the actual Cheddar Bay biscuits, you do, I'm trying to think, it's 15 minutes at 350. So if, instead of a batch of 12, if we're just making 2 of these things, I wonder what how like different the baking time would be. All right, we'll try baking these. Final rinsing off my hands. And I'm not letting any of this biscuit batter go to waste. I'm going to eat it. I don't care about the raw egg. Have you guys ever seen the movie Rocky? He put like eggs in a milkshake and drank it, so. Whoa, why did everything turn orange? There we go. He just drank straight raw eggs. Oh my god. I wonder if that was real. No milkshake, just straight up raw eggs. Brittany, you didn't get a notification. Dang. If you guys ever miss my posts, you can go to my profile. At the top of it, there's a little bell, and you can turn on notifications. So you guys are saying baking is atmospheric. It will be the same time no matter what. So, all right, thank you. Ooh, I could cut the hot dogs up and do corn dog nuggets. Yeah, like popcorn dogs. Like popcorn corn dogs. Loving your book. Hey, thank you so much, RHB. Tiny beef franks would be good for like a party, the corn dogs. Yeah, I could see that. The raw egg thing was done by bodybuilders in the early 70s. I wonder if the quality of eggs was different back then. He was praying they got the first take right so he didn't have to do it again. I know, so when you make over easy eggs, you know, the yolk is basically raw. It's still raw at that point. It's just the white that you don't want to eat that's raw. Because apparently the yolk is like protected, but the white can touch the shell, and that's the part that has the salmon manila. I need to get your book. Romer, you definitely do. It has everything you need to know about keto, and it has recipes, meal plans, everything. And you can get it on Amazon, Carefree Keto. Your book rocks. Hey, thank you, Cubana. Can you make adobo? Great book. Thank you, Cecil. What is adobo? Is adobo a seasoning, or is that something else? As long as the eggs are fresh, raw eggs are fine. What do you mean by fresh? Yeah, Andrea. And after my food poisoning a few weeks ago, which apparently people go to the hospital for food poisoning. Mine was not that bad. But there is like more of a feeling of risk when I'm eating the raw egg. Because I got food poisoning a few weeks ago, and it was like, I felt like I had been hit by a bus for a whole day. It was actually exactly how I felt when I had COVID, but I took a COVID test, and it wasn't COVID. And me and Anna both woke up at the same time in the middle of the night to throw up, but she didn't get as sick as me, and it's probably because I ate some chicken that I had left out for a while, and I ate way more of it than her. But yeah, that whole day was rough. I can't imagine getting like severe food poisoning. Unhatched hen eggs can be eaten raw. Oh, thank you. Adobo is a seasoning blend. That's right, because I used to have an adobo seasoning, I think, that I really liked from Whole Foods. All right, this has been in for 7 minutes at 400. Let's check it out. Where are my mittens? Where are my mittens? All right. Oh, wow. It kind of expanded a lot, but whoa. Let's put these two into the oven now. And I'll set the timer so I don't forget, because if these turn out really good, I'm like definitely gonna forget that these are in the oven, so I need a timer to remind me to turn the oven off. All right. This is my dream kitchen too. It is, when me and Anna were looking at houses, I didn't think we would find one like this. And then we like built this whole house with a company, and then the lumber prices went up and it started like crumbling in front of us. And we were like, oh no, we can't get this house anymore. It was like too expensive. And then after we had looked in so many neighborhoods, we were like the last people to talk to this builder, and they just liked our story, and like the lady at the model home like listened to our story, and then the next day somebody backed out for this house, and they called us and they were like, hey, someone backed out, you guys seem like you could use it, so we're gonna offer it to you. And it was like such a blessing, so praise the Lord for that. That was just such a blessing. All right, guys. Should we brush some parsley butter on top? We all love you and your beautiful baby. Thank you, Positively Me. Let's melt some butter and put parsley in it. And then brush it on top. Yeah, Andrea, we connected with a human, and that's what everything's about. And I mean, connecting with a human, you don't need another human to do. A lot of people need to connect with the human that's staring at them in the mirror. If you're struggling to stay on track, if you're struggling with happiness, you know, there's a human you can connect with right now. Just go look in the mirror. All right, we're microwaving the butter for just a few seconds. This is like such a tiny amount of butter. I'm gonna use scissors to put parsley in it. All right, the butter has melted. There was like garlic powder in here. I want to just break one open. Let's pick like, what's an ugly one we could just break open? I think this one. I would definitely DoorDash you some of these if I could. Fun fact about DoorDash, I drove Grubhub while I was creating keto snacks. 5 years ago, literally 5 years ago, I started driving Grubhub. And I love how I still work with Ultima now, the electrolyte company, because the first brand deal I ever did, I started keto snacks in 2018, and then 6 months later I had like some followers, and I was not making like any money really, but Ultima did sponsor one of my posts in 2018. And that was like the motivation to be like, oh, this could really be something. All right, we need the parsley. How long have you been cooking so good? I don't know if I'm a good cook. Is that what you're asking? Like, have I been cooking, like, well? Because... All right, we're just chopping a little parsley in here. So this one specifically with the hot dogs in it isn't in my book, but Cheddar Bay biscuits are. Let's see, where is it? The keto Cheddar Bay biscuit recipe is in my book somewhere. Wait. Oh, right here. So this one is in my book, along with a ton of other recipes. All right, I'm just chopping up the parsley in here. Just pulled a chicken crust pizza out of the oven. Mmm, yummy, yummy. Could you please say tortillas for us? There you go. The reason I say tortillas like that isn't because I don't know how to say tortilla. It's because one day I mispronounced something and someone gave me a really hard time about it and they were being mean. And instead of responding with negativity, you know, there's always an opportunity to add more negativity to the world. There's always, like, someone cuts you off and then you honk and then they flip you off. You can always escalate negativity and just make the world a worse place. Or you could flip it and turn it into something positive, like I do. I mispronounce words because it's funny. Like tizaikai. I know how to say tzatziki, but tizaikai is just so fun to say. And I'm sure a lot of other people enjoy hearing it. And it's like all this positivity and all of these laughs that we're getting out of it because one person decided to be mean. So it's like when something negative happens in life, you can just add to the negativity or you could make it something fun. All right, I have a little brush. Here we go. Now that you mentioned that, that is one of the things I like about your account. You're always very positive, and that's what a lot of us need. I think that's what I need too. I find like the podcasts I listen to, the books that I read, it's always like gravitating towards people who are positive, people who don't let the negativity of the world like consume them. Because for every day that you can spend thinking about how everything sucks, you could just spend a day thinking about how everything's awesome. Like, for every day you could spend thinking of how much you hate your body, you could wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I can walk and go to the bathroom. There are people who can't get up and walk and go to the bathroom, or, you know, and it's not to like say your struggles aren't real or that they don't matter, but it's like in the face of my struggles, let me find something to feel good about so that that doesn't just like hang over me like a dark cloud all day. All right, guys. I didn't chop up enough parsley, but we're going to just take a picture and try these. Actually, let's just take a bite. And then I'll take a picture later. So let's pick the ugliest one to take a bite of. I have the same brush from Walmart. Shout out to Walmart. Walmart is my happy place. All right, guys, here we go. Let's see how it tastes. Here we go. Pizza Royale, that's what I'm here for. Shout out to all the thin slices of tree, Mandy. Oh my God. This is so much better than... This is better than a non-keto pig in a blanket made with the crescent roll, like Pillsbury. This is so good. It's like, because the Cheddar Bay biscuits are so, they like melt in your mouth. The texture isn't great. Baked would be better because they're a little doughy on the inside, which I like, but we'll check these. They have 6 minutes and we'll decide, but wow, this is really, really good. Mmm. Mmm. Mmm, mmm, mmm. All right, Ronan. Shout out to all the tortillas. Did you have any idea how much you'd love being a dad? I was, so going into it, I was so excited. And Anna was scared because, I mean, most people are scared going into it, you know? I was just like all rainbows and butterflies. And I would read these stories of like how like it's really hard and all of this stuff. And I was like, it's just going to be so magical. And Anna was like, yeah, but it's also going to be really challenging. And I was like, no, it won't. It's just going to be so much love. Like nothing will matter. And when Sophia first got here, Anna was the one who was like, oh, it's just so magical. Like everything's amazing. And I was the one who was like, oh, this is hard. So I went into it like over expecting it to just be like, just 100% positive, which is like, we got the best baby in the world. It's like 95% positive, like 98% positive. But it's like also hard to entertain, or it was hard to entertain her when she was awake. And like, just like the things that come with raising a baby, you know? So that is one thing where, yeah, the roles reverse, Andrea, but still, it was totally different than I expected. Like, it added so much meaning and purpose to my life, and I thought I would just like not want to make videos and just spend time all day with Sophia, but that also was like a wake-up call where it's like, oh no, you have to make more videos because you have like a risky career and you have to provide for this baby. So that gave me like so much motivation, and that is something I was not expecting. It was like a total wake-up call. Like there's like a constant fire under me to make the book better when I was working on it. I mean, I procrastinated the book for so long, and then when Sophia got here, it was like, oh my God, I have to get this book out. So she added so much to my life in so many ways that I wouldn't expect, and that is like the real gift of it. It was like, going into it, I just thought it would just be like, oh, we're just gonna stare at her and just be in bliss all day. But it's like a different experience, and that is even better than I could have imagined. So that's how it changed. But all right, we're gonna take out the baked ones. Actually, no, we're not. They're not ready. But they look the same. I don't know. I don't think we need to try the baked ones. They look literally exactly the same. So go make these. They're so freaking good. And speaking of Sophia, me, Anna, and Sophia are going to go on a walk. So I'm going to get off here. Shout out to everyone who hung out today. Mandy, my friend gave me a baby food book that I'm going to use for inspiration. And I'm thinking of doing some sort of like baby food book because the yogurt thing really upset me. Why are they just adding sugar to baby yogurt? Like, that doesn't make sense. Yogurt has its own sugar, and then add fruit. So I was like, we're gonna just add fruit to her yogurt. Why would we add cane sugar? So that got me like motivated. So maybe I'll work on some sort of baby book or something. But in the meantime, if you don't have Carefree Keto, that is a adult book for getting started on keto. Thank you guys for hanging out. I love you. I believe in you. I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you, Andrea. You guys, thank you to everyone who comments on here. You guys make the community a thing, because without the comments, I would just stand here like awkwardly not knowing what to do. So when I went live for the first time 4 years ago, if it weren't for the comments, I would never have went live again, and there would be no keto snacks. So thank you guys. I'll see you Sunday.